How to get your offer accepted when there's multiple offers that you're competing with. It's a common thing in our real estate market. There's not a lot of houses out there available, and there's more buyers that want it. The ones that are priced right and show well, buyers, they show up and they compete with each other on it. My name's Doug Reynolds. I'm a Sacramento area realtor. I've been helping buyers and sellers for over 20 years now in real estate. Today we're talking about getting your offer accepted when there's multiple offers. Okay, so there's not just price. It's not just price. There are so many terms in a real estate contract that can factor in to a seller's decision. So when I show a house to a buyer and they say, yeah, Doug, this is the one. We love it. We like it. We're ready to go. I've got a pulse on the market. I'm working with buyers and sellers all the time. I've got a gut feel that, yeah, this thing is going to be attractive. There's going to be multiple offers on this property. Or my buyers have been looking for a while and they know, they've seen the stuff that sells quickly over list price and the stuff that hasn't, and they know this one is going to be a hot property. So my first job and responsibility is to immediately get a hold of the seller's agent. I want to become their best friend. I want to be finding out every bit of information I can get from them. What's going on with the sellers? Where are they moving? Why are they moving? What are they looking for? Do they need a rent back? Are they going to be contingent upon finding another replacement property? Have you done any inspections yet? Any of that stuff is going to be helpful. Do they want to close quickly? Do they need a longer close? Like I said, do they need a rent back? What are they looking for? I am digging and trying to get as much information as possible, because then I can advise my buyers on structuring the offer properly to that seller. Every seller is different. Every seller is looking for different things in their offer. Yeah, they all want the most amount of money and everything, but when you're starting to compare offers, sometimes it's worth taking a couple $1,000s less because the terms of this offer are so much better. So let's get into that, okay? So not just price, but there's other things, such as how long is it going to take to close escrow? Some sellers, they've already moved out. It's vacant. They want this thing closed as quickly as possible. They don't want to do a 30-day escrow. They would love a 21-day escrow. So you need to be making sure you're working with a great lender that can close that quickly, okay? So how fast are you going to close escrow? How much is your initial deposit? Here in Sacramento, kind of the minimum standard is about 1%. If you're writing an offer on a $700,000 house, the expectation would be a minimum of $7,000. But if you're competing with other offers, you want your offer to stand out, let's make the offer $10,000 or even $14,000. Let's do a 2% deposit. When a seller is looking at 3 different offers and they're, all the prices are kind of same, well, it's like, hey, this person is going to put $14,000 in escrow right away instead of 7. They're more serious. They're going to have more skin in the game. That's going to give you an advantage as a buyer. So days of escrow, initial deposit amount, okay? Now, how long are you going to take for your contingencies? The 3 main contingencies we have in real estate are inspections, appraisal, and loan contingency. The standard time frame in the contract is 17 days. That's a long time, especially if you're competing with other buyers. So you need to shorten those time frames down to give the seller peace of mind that we're not going to be fiddling around for a long time here. I'm going to know quickly if we've got a problem or not. I'm going to know quickly that appraisal is done and taken care of and dialed in. So a lot of times with buyers, if we're competing, we might be going 7 days on inspections. We might be going 10 days on appraisal. We might be going 10 to 12 days on the loan approval. If you're working with a good lender, they're going to be able to get this deal dialed in and taken care of in 10 to 12 days. They shouldn't need 17 days. So a way to make your offer stand out is shortening your contingency timeframes down. Another way to do it is don't ask for a home warranty. It emotionally, when sellers are looking at 2, 3, 4 offers and they're all asking for a home warranty except one of them, even though we're only talking about $600, $700, emotionally, that feels massive to a seller. That feels like, oh my gosh, this buyer, they're not going to be a problem to work with. They're not trying to nickel and dime me for every little thing here. Sometimes you just got to pass on asking for that seller to cover that home warranty if you really want that house and you're really competing. Also, breakdown of costs. There's an escrow fee, there's a title insurance fee, there's city and county transfer taxes. A lot of times, agents, they're just gonna write, seller's gonna cover all those things. Well, you might wanna go 50-50 on both of those things. It's gonna add a little bit to your closing costs, but it's gonna add to the seller's net sheet as far as how much proceeds they're gonna receive. So there's a differentiating factor that you can do there as well too, that makes your offer net them more, looks better. You're not adding money to the purchase price, but you're making favorable terms for the seller to be able to be wanting to accept your offer. Last thing, there's other stuff here as well too, but last thing I'd hit on is a rent back. A lot of times sellers, they want to close quickly, but they might need a little bit of a buffer of a week or 2 weeks to get moved into where they're going. And if you as a buyer are willing to allow them to stay in the house for 7 days or 15 days after close of escrow for free, that is emotionally huge for a seller. Especially sometimes they don't even ask for it. Of course, I'm asking their agent, do they need a rent back? What's going on? But sometimes even when I'm being told no, they don't need a rent back, we'll talk to my buyers and we'll just throw it in and we'll say, hey, you can have 5 days free rent back afterwards, even though they told us we don't need it. I've sat with sellers many times presenting offers. They told me they didn't need a rent back. Yet one of the agents for the buyers threw it in to their offer, and all of a sudden my seller is facing the reality they've got to be out very quickly. And they go, oh my gosh, if we could have 5 days after close of escrow, that would be so awesome. I didn't even realize that. And so emotionally, you're trying to tie things with the seller. Yes, price is super important. All these terms are super important, but you're trying to factor in those terms a little bit. That's going to tie to them. Every seller is different. That's my job and my responsibility as my clients, buyer clients, to go and try and find out every bit of information I can so we can dial in their offer. Hope this video was helpful and informative. If you're looking to either buy something in Sacramento or sell something in Sacramento, I've been helping clients for over 20 years now. Would love to work with you. My website's realestatewithdoug.com. Give me a call, text, or email. Look forward to talking to you soon, and clear skies.